Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In the previous video you would have seen me installing a new Falcon alternator there. When I was testing all the lights, you would have seen a bit of voltage drop with the high beams on. Turns out I found that the alternator was trying to generate the current obviously to supply the lights and everything, but it was too much for the little small 4PK belt to spin, so therefore we were getting belt slip, causing the belt to smoke and all that stuff, which is one of the problems that I was having before. So it can't supply the current needed or the voltage needed to run all the accessories. It is a bit of a bummer. It is one of those things of learning and all that stuff. So I've got to resort back to using the standard Suzuki Swift alternator there. I've already pulled out the Falcon alternator. I'll keep that, sell it on or whatnot, but now I've got to change the wiring harness from the Falcon plug back to the standard Suzuki Sierra or Swift plug there. So the idea is, once I work out what I'm doing with the wiring, I've got these type of metal crimps on there. So what I'll do is I'll clean it all up down there, put the crimps on, put some heat shrink over it, and that'll be a good connection on the harness there instead of using the spade terminals there. So I'll hook into that and I'll see you guys on the other side of that. Alright guys, I thought I'd do a little rundown on the Zook. I've owned the Zook for quite a number of years. With that, I've done little bibs and bobs with it, as you would, just to make it a bit more fun with what I plan on doing and all that stuff, a little bit off-roading and all that stuff. As we can see, first up, we got the ARB bull bar with some King's spotlights and a King's winch. It is very overkill with the winch I've got. I've got a 12,000 pound winch. This definitely does not need it, but for the right price at the time, why not? Came with a deal. As we work our way around, you know, UHF antenna, I've put the fiberglass hardcover on it of recent. Bought it off someone off Marketplace there for a good deal. Plan was trying to fix up a bit of the fiberglass. As we can see, there's a bit of cracking in that area there. But I thought I'd just try it out, see how it looks. I like the look. I do have a different soft top for it to make it look like a bit of a ute setup. That is great for when I need to carry some big stuff, but with this, obviously I'm happy as it is. I don't mind the tin tops. I'd rather have a tin top, but with the fiberglass canopy, I kind of get the best of both worlds there. Moving on with the modifications there, I've got 31-inch muddies for the vehicle. Only when I go full driving or whatnot, it does make the car slow. Not that these things are particularly quick or anything like that. It is fun just with the standard wheels on it, the little 15-inch standard tires on them and all that stuff. Just out in the mud, it does help a lot. It does make it a little weapon. It is quite a fun rig off-road. So moving into the rear end of things, for the diff, I have a standard diff, but I have fitted a auto locker into the vehicle. So that just helps with off-road purposes really. And I've also modified the rear differential, the axles. I've cut out the backing plate and I've adapted, I think from a 1 litre version of the Sierras, you can put a retainer, a holder on the backing plate. So what I've done is I've cut the retainer as well, so I can actually, if I ever need to pull the rear axles out, I don't have to pull the brakes all apart, so I can just pull the axles out if I ever break one, which I don't plan on it, and refit a new axle in. I don't have to pull the shoes apart, the brakes apart, bleed the brakes, especially if you're on a track. That can be a bit of a pain. With the other modifications, I've got a little snorkel there. That's been on there from day dot pretty well. So with the rest of the driveline, so I've got the locker in the rear, I've got the axles that I can pull in and out without having to take the backing plate off. Just got a standard transfer case, no reduction gears or anything, so it does make it a bit of a pain off-roading with the 31s on it. I actually prefer to use the standard wheels. It goes so much better, as you would expect. I probably should stick some all-terrains on them. I just got normal road tyres on them. Keeps the speedo aligned, all that stuff. I could put reduction gears. I'm not too interested because I obviously don't want to run the muddies all the time on the road. With the front diff, it is a standard differential in the front there. I do look to possibly be doing a locker or an air locker. I wouldn't mind putting air lockers in the front and rear. That would be fantastic. From a drivability standpoint. Now interior wise, nothing too flash, just gotta have the putting green on the ground, keep the feet nice and lush. Just some gauges, just the volt gauge and the oil pressure gauge, and just your standard cluster and UHF and all that stuff there. Engine wise, as you guys already know, it's got the Suzuki Swift GTI 1.3 litre fuel injection engine. It does come with the standard carby 1.3 litre, so I've gone away from the carby setup and gone for a quote unquote more modern approach with fuel injection. That said, you know, it does improve power output and all that stuff. It does help that it revs out to, you know, 8,000, 9,000 RPM. I could have gone for a Vitara setup with a 1.6 litre for extra torque. I wanted to have this thing screaming, so I went for the GDI engine, which it has done very well. I do enjoy it. So with all that said, guys, it's you know, a few things that I need to address on the vehicle. So there'll be a few other videos, like the wheel bearings. They need to be done. They haven't been done for quite some time. The water pump, possibly at some point. I can smell a bit of burning coolant. That could be many things. Driveline oils, all that stuff, they need to be done at some point. So there'll be some future videos in regards to that. Hopefully, you know, if you guys enjoy the content, I like making this sort of stuff. I do like to watch this content myself. So I figured if I'm going to be working on the Zook, doing whatever, I figured I might as well make a video out of it. Someone else might enjoy it as well. Some future plans that I might have for the Zook, obviously the servicing and all that stuff, a few upgrades. I'm toying with the idea of another engine conversion, possibly. I would have to go talk to an engineer and all that stuff in regards to the upgrades that I might want to do. I was thinking about potentially ditching the four-wheel drive system in this thing and possibly or hopefully sticking a Honda engine in it. I'm thinking like a K24 setup with the possibly a S2000 gearbox or something along those lines. I was thinking of potentially returning it back to a factory look, so I'd fix up get new bumperettes, all that stuff for it, get rid of the bull bar, put a standard front bar back on it, maybe give it a paint job. You know, the paint's not that great. It is a bit of a workbench, as you can see. That also adds to, I guess, the character of the vehicle. It's fun to do the stuff I do with the vehicle because I don't really care cosmetically what the car looks like, as long as it just goes and it goes well. So that is, you know, a few things that I've been thinking about, toying with the idea. Obviously, trying to line up a conversion as such for the Zook probably be a bit hard or a long way off, because obviously I need to find someone that'll probably can weld the engine mounts in and all that stuff, talk to an engineer, go from there if I can even get it engineered. You know, brakes, all that stuff. It's got all right brakes factory, I guess. I know you can do some conversions in the rear. I believe you do Vitara rear brake setup in that thing. But if that's the case, I'll probably look at doing like a Hilux diff, shorten the diff and put that in there. It is common. I do see people put Hilux diffs in these things. So it is doable. So that is future Warren problems, I guess. Just the thought of it all. It just depends where everything goes from here, I guess, and going from there. All that stuff that you watch in the videos, whether it's in regards to, you know, replacing an alternator or doing some wiring on the alternator, or in future when we do the wheel bearings or anything else like that, you know, if your vehicle has bearings that you can grease or alternator that needs replacing, you know, it's the same methodology in retrospect to all that, give or take certain things. So if you learn anything here, you can apply it to your vehicle, which will make it, you know, a good learning experience, I guess, or whatnot. The kids enjoy getting into it as well. If you would have seen, they can't do too much in there, but, you know, they like to watch, they like to observe. And, you know, that's the good stuff. That's the fun stuff all about it as well, when they're not being a pothole or whatnot. So if you guys enjoy, just like and subscribe, and then hopefully we get some more future videos out and for you guys to enjoy. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.